Welcome to our Better Living Through Vedic Palmistry. And my name is Guylaine Vallée, and I work with Ghanshyam Singh Birla for the last 35 years, and I love to answer your question. And today's question from Andrea, she's asking, during the lockdown this spring, I spent so much time in isolation, and now it's happening again. How can I cope with loneliness? I heard that question so many times for the last 6 months. And for sure, many people try to cope with loneliness by comfort food or alcohol or maybe watching the best TV show. And of course, it's been hard because our freedom to go spontaneously to see our friend or family has been cut off. So for sure, the question of Andrea is a question that many people have in mind. And research say that it affects the mental emotion when we feel isolation. So I suggest to Andrea, it's very important that you keep in touch with your children or your family or your friend through Facebook or FaceTime, all the social media, so that you don't feel completely isolated. But at the same time, I told her, well, you should breathe deeply and be centered. And where can we see that in the hand? So for sure, we're going to focus on the fingers. And especially when we see Saturn, that it's straight, and all the fingers are at their proper place, same space in between all of them. Then you know that the person is very solid and strong, and they don't feel any too much loneliness. But in the case of Andrea, we can see that her little fingers that we call Mercury is really way up. It's really open. The gap is strong, and that Mercury loves communication, and it loves to relate to the world. So for sure, it gives her a strong desire to the need of being with people or communicate. So Andrea has to learn to live alone. Now, being alone doesn't mean we have to be lonely. So one more suggestion that I say to her, creativity, because it's said again that when you're creative, it brings you to kind of a zone. That's why artists, they love to be alone, either to write their song or to create their painting. They need that because they go in that space. So I suggest to Andrea, how about you write? Write your biography, write a blog, write all your experience with your friend. Then you will see. Then I told her my mother, when she lost my dad, felt so lonely. And the best way she did, she started to paint. And was she prolific? Our home, to me and my brother and sister, is full of her painting. So for sure, Andrea was open to all of that. But then she said, but Guylaine, it's not just loneliness, is I need to have a meaning to my life because I used to go and take care of my grandchildren. Now I don't do any of this. So for sure, I said, well, you love family, guarantee. So keep contact, and maybe you want to find more about your own family. Many people are doing what we call a genealogy website, and they try to find the roots of their family. So she can do that. Or I said, that's a very deep question you're asking me. How about you take a challenge? I do challenge of the heart or the headline or the lifeline, because trying to find the meaning of your life, it's all there in your hand, and then you will find answer. And then she said, well, at the same time, because life is so demanding, maybe it's a good time I could take care of myself. I went, of course, Andrea, this is the perfect time. You want to make sure you're constructive during that time. So she said, okay, I'll use my treadmill. Instead of being dusty, I'll start using it. And I will try to be very constructive during that time. So she felt quite inspired, and that she will work on herself and try to balance and use that isolation as a great time to do something good, because we want to be proud of ourselves when the isolation will finish, that we didn't become sad, but we were helping other people or inspiring other people by our own attitude. So God bless Andrea. See you next week.